Even if you've weathered this storm without a lost loved one or injuries or property damage, you're likely to be left with emotional scars.
That's right. Here with some tips on dealing with the pain and emotional trauma is counselor Joanne Terrell. Joanne, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
You know, for those of us who have experienced this, and maybe if you haven't experienced an ultimate or total loss, just the feelings it leaves you with are very painful, very emotional. How can everyday people help their friends, their neighbors who may really be struggling with this tonight?
Well, when someone has sustained a massive loss and a shock and trauma, as often happens with these kinds of natural disasters, the most important thing is to help them to ventilate, to express their feelings and talk about what they have experienced and seen and felt. And you can really do that by lending an ear, by being there, by listening to them, and letting them express themselves. That's one thing. And sometimes they have to tell their story again, over and over, until they have seen it through and it's no longer shocking to them. Another thing that you can do is help them to understand that the way they're feeling is normal. What we like to say in crisis intervention is that it's normal people in an abnormal situation. And so what they're feeling is a normal response to a very abnormal situation.
And this is something that will not be, they will not get over in right away. This is something they will deal with for a while, and it's important that people are patient with the survivors of people who have been through these traumatic experiences. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. You have to be patient. It takes time. It's kind of like they will take 2 steps forward, and then something will remind them of what happened, and they'll take 1 step back. For instance, if we do have some more thunderstorms, some people are going to be terrified, and they're going to have flashbacks to what happened. And so if you are somebody living or a neighbor or a friend of someone like that, let them know that they may feel that way. Be there for them. Be supportive of them. Eventually, they'll be able to work through the crisis.
Something particularly that a lot of families are dealing with is children who have come out of this. We may even have some video to show of something called CJ's Bus, which is a bus that comes around to help the children have some release and get out of the situation and have a little fun. What about kids who have been through this?
Yes, the children very often express their feelings through their behavior. They act out their feelings more often than adults do. So if they begin to experience some behavioral problems, some overreactions, then the adults in their life need to understand and be supportive and loving and protective of them. That children need to feel safe, and adults need to understand that if their children are acting differently, expressing behavioral problems, that's also a normal reaction to an abnormal situation.
It is, feeling safe is a very important thing right up front when these things happen.
They need to feel safe. If they feel that they have to, the adult, their parent or an aunt or grandparent needs to stay close to them. They may even for a little while want to sleep with them, especially if they're little children, but they really need to feel safe.
And what about people too who maybe live in the storm's path or are left with, and who survived, or maybe didn't lose their entire home, but are left with a sense of guilt almost, or why wasn't it me, that type of feeling? What would you tell those people?
I would tell those people that this wasn't their fault, and that they should be grateful that they did survive, and to be sad and mourn the loss of those that didn't. But this wasn't their fault, and so the best they can do is to move forward and make the best of their life, in spite of the fact that they may have lost someone.
All right, Joanne Terrell, we appreciate you being with us so much for some help on emotional healing after this terrible tragedy. We also want to give this crisis hotline again to the Indian River Center, 205-345-1600, 205-562-3700. Also, Indian Rivers is located on the VA campus, Building 39, and they will be taking walk-ins beginning on Monday.